The empty pot. One day long ago, the king of China announced a contest to find the next ruler of the land. He was getting old and had no sons to take over the throne. It was different then, and only a boy could rule the land. One thing about the king is he loved to grow plants. So he announced that any boy who wanted to be king would have to come to the palace and get a royal seed. In 6 months, the boy who grew the best plant would be the one to win the contest. He would be the next to sit on the throne. Every boy in China was wild with joy. Each one was sure he would be the winner. Boys all over started to talk with pride, as if they were winner. Mothers and fathers were excited too. It sure would be grand to live at the palace. Every boy in China was wild with joy. One boy named John was quiet. She knew he was good at growing things. Everyone in his village would fight over who was to get his melons, snow peas, his baby corn. All summer long, John was working hard at pulling weights or moving plants from here to there so they could grow better. On the big day when the royal seeds were to be given out, huge crowds of boys came to the palace. John was one of those boys. Each boy took home his royal seed, held tight in his hand. At home, John took out a good flower pot. He set down large stones on the bottom. Over them, he set smaller stones. Over those, he filled the rest of the pot with rich black dirt. Then he made a hole at the top, about 1 inch deep. Last, he pressed the royal seed into the hole and set dirt on the top. With care, he tapped the top. Over the next few days, John watered his pot every day. All over China, boys were doing the same thing. Each one looked with care at his own pot. When would the first little green leaf show up? Day after day, John watched and waited. Chen was the first boy in John's village to announce that a green leaf was coming up. His news was met with great cheers. Chen said in a loud voice that he knew he would be king. Han was the next one to say little green plant was coming up in his pot. Then it was wrong. John did not know why there was no little plant in his pot. None of the other boys could grow plants as well as he, but still John's seed did not grow. Soon sprouts were popping up from pots all over the village. Boys moved their baby plants outside so the little leaves could grow even bigger in the sun. Many stood guard over their dear pot at all times. Why, it seemed to John that every boy who planted a seed had a sprout by now. Every boy, that is, except him. Still, John's seed did not grow. He carefully took out the seed and moved into another pot. He put the very best and richest black soil from his garden in the new pot. He broke off every clump of soil there was into a teeny bit of dirt. With great care, he pressed the royal seed on top. John watched the pot every day, adding drops of water here and there, but still his seeds did not grow. Strong, mighty plants were soon rising from pots carried from by the other boys in John's village. Sadly, John walked around with his head down. The other boys laughed at him. When something was empty, they would say that it was as empty as John's pot. John moved his seed yet again. This time he took some dried fish and made it into a powder. He dusted the powder into the soil as fertilizer. Yet, even so, John's seed did not grow. 6 months passed. The day came when all boys needed to bring their plants to the palace to be judged. Chen Hang Ong and hundreds of other boys cleaned their pots till they shone bright in the sun. They wiped with care each green leaves. They dressed in their best clothes. Mother and fathers walked next to their son to help keep plants up so they would not tip over. 6 months passed. What will I do? Wailed John to his mother and father as he looked out the window. The other boys were walking with pride to the palace. My pot is empty. My seed did not grow. Bring the king your pot the way it is, said the father. That's right, said John's mother. You did the best you could. His face red with shame. John carried his empty pot on the road to the palace. Happy boys who could hardly hold such a large plant passed him by. At the palace, all the boys lined up, holding their big, strong plants in the front of them. They waited to be judged. The king, in his rich silk robe, walked slowly down the line. He looked at each plant with a blank look in his face. When he came to John, he frowned and said, "What is this? You brought me an empty pot." At the palace, all the boys lined up. It was all John could do to keep from crying. "If you please, your majesty," said John, "I tried my best. I planted your seed in the best soil I could find. I kept it wet and watched it every day. When the seed did not grow, I moved it to new soil, and I even moved it a third time." John hung his head. "I'm sorry." Said the king, turning so everyone could hear. He roared, "I do not know where all these other boys got their seeds. There is no way anything could grow from the seeds we passed out for the contest. And that is because all those seeds had been cooked. No plant could grow from them." And he smiled at John. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, and please guys support me. Thank you so much.